let's get stuck into area. So it's going to look very similar to range, I imagine. I'll make a set distance area and a self area. So yep, same deal. Let's make a folder for area. So what area is you'll have a range that can go, say, 3 away, but the area will say this spreads out 2 if you want a big area of effect. You can have area that is uh, stuck to the player but goes out, say, 2 distance all around. So it's like maybe a battle shout type effect. So all the different types of areas will be in here. And in a very similar fashion, I will create the base area script that is abstract because it should never be used on its own. There will be some kind of abstract list of vector3 ints that will say get positions in area, something like that. And there will be a vector3 int for origin position, that's where it starts from. Um, Maybe we'll stick with that for now. I might end up needing things like the user again, but this might be fine. Again, it comes with sort of it'll have its own. Each area will have their own parameters that you want to use, but as a basis, I don't know if the area itself is going to have something like the range does. Should exclude. And we don't need to worry about who is being targeted by the area. We just need to know what positions are in the area. Later on, the target condition list that will decide who can actually be affected by what you've selected. So there's the base area. And I'll do a set distance area that will look exactly the same as the range. And then also a self area. So we'll inherit from area, we'll implement the abstract class, and we'll get to work. Serialize field, private int, distance that it can reach, and also a height that it can reach. I don't think I'd like my game to be as testy as Final Fantasy Tactics was with their insanely low height for AoE spells. It's not so bad when you use the higher level spells, but my god, to begin with, it's bad. Anyway, get positions in area. So to begin with, we can maybe just swing out a pathfinding dot get targetable positions with that as the origin, distance as the range, and height. And to test this, maybe I'll just spit out the areas it can hit. Or maybe I'll just stick it in the select target position. as an ever updating sort of targeter. Where did that all go? State machine, battle states, select target position. So here's where I'm going to do something where I will keep a track of the current targeted position. So vector3 int current hovered position. Maybe I'll use the input controller to grab the current position. Um, okay, public static vector3 int mouse position v3i. So I'll use the old input system just to grab the input, the mouse position. And then I should probably look up how to do that with the new input system. Probably something to do with this. Position mouse. Pass through. You know what? Maybe I should just try this. I should just try it. So, vector2 mouse position is equal to input actions it's not static, so it won't let me use it. Bah. Another singleton. Okay, instance equals this, and we'll just hide that. Get out of here. So we don't need this to be static now, but I do want to just make sure nothing else is easily changeable. Public static, that's fine. Okay, should be fine. Mouse position equals input actions dot point. Was it mouse? Oh, it's UI first, and then point dot get value, get parameter value, read value as a vector2. Is that it? So then we can use the mouse position with the camera. Main screen to world point with the mouse position, and that should be vector3. World position, and then we just have to round the world position, which I think should be a utility function. v3i position, and then we just pass in a vector3 position. I thought I did already have this somewhere. Okay, we return new vector3 int, and it's going to be position.x, but mathf.round to int. Then it'll be mathf.round to int. rounded position equals new 3. So we're just rounding each of the positions to an integer position.z, but then we want to return the translated value. So that'll be translate vector 3 int, translate vector 3, because we're using a vector 3. Okay, I think this is probably it. And I think we can just return utility dot rounded position. It's probably position v3i, and we want to round a position. We will just return this, but then this one doesn't need to do that. It can just return translated get rounded position of position. This one will be called v3i. So get rounded position v3i of world position. So anytime we grab this, we just need to update when it's changed. So hovered position equals input controller dot instance dot get current mouse v3i. If the hovered position does not equal to, I guess previous hovered position is a better name. Previous hovered position. If it's not equal to the previous position, then we will make it equal and then do some kind of update here. But really, this should be handle hover position, and then we'll just slap it in there. If that does equal that, return early, otherwise we'll do something else. You know, I like doing it that way. And probably don't need it to be in refresh, because that's fairly often. That's maybe far too often. Override the fixed refresh and just run it in here. So what do we want to do? We want to get the selected ability which is from turn selected ability. And then we'll get the area that we think it should be able to draw on. And there'll be some kind of instead of a list, maybe dictionary. And then if we find one at that position, we just get rid of it. Okay. Still needs to be, the area still needs to be within that before it will trigger. So let's see. If hover position is inside targetable positions, it's not targetable, we will hmm, what happens if this is like fucking nothing? Let's just see what it returns first of all before we try and do anything. Okay, that's all fine. So run the code in a place where it should be fine. 7, 7 doesn't seem right. That should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's got 7. Something broke as well. What? Targetable positions. Ah, okay, so this is waiting a frame. This shouldn't be running unless it's active, and it should only be active after this is run. Or have I got that wrong? It turns active on at the end of enter state, so it's anything after this. Well, I guess targetable positions should equal something right away. That's something I need to keep an eye on. Maybe I need to rethink the way that this is activated and deactivated. Maybe I will need to just set it manually when I've finished doing things. So this would be down here, or even take that out and make it activate like that. That's maybe a better way of doing it. It's a bit annoying to have to set that whenever you want to use a state, but it's probably a lot safer. Yeah, this just does post enter state. Uh, hmm. Mhm, mhm. So let's get rid of that for a second. Let's even get rid of this for a second just to see if staggering at that frame helps, because this is maybe it's, oh, I don't know if this is just bad now, but what if I stagger 2 frames? Is 2 frames enough to notice? Is it going to slow the game down? Probably not. Is it bad code? Probably. This has been destroyed, but you're still accessing it. Yep, there we go. Okay, can't be doing shit like that. Can't be doing stuff like this. Maybe just get rid of post enter state, and it's up to me to activate when I'm ready. We're always deactivating it before we move on. I enter, yep. So I would like to have a function that activates because it's just looks a lot better, and I don't like having to type out actual code all the time like this. So protected, we don't want anything else running this, so protected is what we want. Is active equals true, and it means anytime we're finished with our setup and we want to finally take input or run the refresh, this is when we'll activate. In some cases we'll never activate because we don't need to. Here we go. Which other states do we care about input? Let's see. So move, yep, 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 yep. Okay, seems fine. Okay, so back to the issue at hand. Handle hover. So this is when targeting, it should spit out hovered position over and over again. Okay, so why does that say 4? Is that actually 4 and I've just screwed up the positioning of the map? Starts at 0. Seems like it's 0 for sure. Let's move this battle unit to 0, 0, 0, 0. And that should be 0, 0. And when we hover over, it says 4. Which just makes me think that the logic somewhere doesn't work and I need to type it out better. -3 as well. So what does it say? So up here somewhere is Okay, let's have a look. Which part is broken? Uh, utility. Input controller is saying. Let's just go mouse pause. Twenty hundred 1242. So that's nothing, nothing about there. And then we go 1920 by 1080. So that's fine. So screen to world point, maybe we'll just debug log this nonsense out. World pause. Did I do the wrong one maybe? Screen to world point. That sounds alright. No, it is kind of fucky. What else is there? Camera.main. Should be screen to world point. Let's just double check that I've not completely screwed this up. Camera.main. Screen to world point and pass in the mouse position. It seems to give the wrong world point. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, what? It wants a vector 3, but it's a screen. Right, so this should just be mouse pause X, what, fucking 0? And this is the camera's position. So it feels weird to hard code this. Where is our camera? You know what, I think I'm doing the wrong thing anyway. What's wrong with the raycast that we set up before? Yeah, I think I'm being an idiot. It should just be raycasting, and whatever it hits is the point we're looking at. Jeez, that was a whole load of nothing. Probably don't need this. I might just delete it, even if I need it later. Get current mouse. You know what, let's just do get current mouse position, and we will return this because that's valid. It's kind of cool to see that that is just how it works. You just read the value and that's it. Let's go back to utility because this is probably fine. What else? What were we even doing again? Let's see. Okay, handle the hover position. We do not want. We do not want. Utility. Was it Raycaster? Raycaster from mouse. Get rounded position. Oh, this is what we're. This is what it was. Uh, get rounded position. Yeah, this is where it was. Ah. This isn't really a raycast though. This should be maybe in the utility as well. But that's fine. Let's do get rounded position v3i because that's what we're looking for. It's exactly what we're looking for. Pass in the walkable layer mask again. Position. So we'll do if position equals null, or if position dot value is equal to the previous hover position, then don't do anything. We don't need to update. Actually, this is very, very wrong. If it is null, we do want to update. We just want to make sure everything is clear. If position equals null and previous hover position equals null, then we will return. It's already been cleared. If it's null and previous hover position does not equal to null, we will need to clear it. Or redraw is maybe. And then if none of this, if the value is equal to this, then return because it's already been drawn. Otherwise, we're redrawing again anyway. So maybe this should be a private void draw markers. Draw markers will just be popped in there. And I will just add clear to this, so we're always clearing the board before we draw. And we don't need clear here. Oh no, we do. We do. We don't need it there. So this is drawing the target markers, but first of all, we want to draw the area markers. We'll just gather the important information. Targetable positions will always be the same, I imagine. So this might be right at the start. Get the targetable positions. It's the area that will constantly be changing. Private list of game objects. Area marker list equals new. Contains, this is just position.value. Hold on. If it doesn't contain that, we just clear. No, that's wrong. We want to. We're always drawing. We're always drawing the area. We're always drawing the range. It's the area that I'm trying to figure out right now. So I'll just gather these points here again. So when we clear, oh, it still calls it sphere. Funny. Target marker. We also want to, for each area marker list, destroy area marker dot game object, and then clear the area marker list. Is that it? Targetable positions. Area positions can be blank, I believe. Area positions equals battle.turn.selectedAbility.area. Okay, so we've not added that yet. Let's grab the ability. Oh, I didn't even add code to the self area. Just add the origin. Same deal here. We'll just grab the area by getting the component. So in here we can do the selected ability, grab the area, then get positions in area, pass in the starting position, and that's us got the positions. So then for each of the area positions, we will create a game object, area marker, we'll have to make a new object, position equals utility dot translate, put the 3 in, area position, and then area marker dot transform dot position is equal to position, and then we add that to the marker list. But then we don't want to be over drawing on top of each other, so that's why the second time we're drawing, we're just going to check if reachable position is already in the area position list. Then we'll continue because we don't want to draw anything here. This may be a bad way of doing it. It may slow things down if you have someone doing this over the battle map, creating lots of updates. So I may need to look into a better way of doing this. Maybe instead of creating and destroying all the time, it just turns these off. Yep, instead of destroying them all the time, it can turn off all the target markers and then just turn them on if the area marker isn't sitting on top. You can do things like that. Also make object pools so that instead of destroying and creating objects, you just add them to the pool. Create them once at the start, and then as you move around, it just moves them position rather than creating them. So yeah, there's definitely ways of improving this. But for now, I just want to see that it works. What is this squealing at me for? Oh yeah, we didn't make an object. So let's prefab. We're getting so many of them, may as well make markers. And then just pop them in here. Make another one. So this is area marker. Area marker, we'll give it some kind of fancy looking color. Like a target maybe, a bit higher. And then back on the prefab, we just make it look how we want. Area marker, done. Add it to config. And definitely now I'll see that there is more more of an interest in create one marker object, add a script to it that simply changes the color, and then instead of having all these different prefabs, you can just have in the config public color movement marker color equals color.red or the actual RGB or something in here. So that's probably something that can also be improved upon. But for now, this is fine. Go away, please. Area marker prefab. Area marker, get it in there. Let's just test it, see how far we get before it breaks. Immediately. Okay, select target position. So area position hasn't been initialized. Okay, we'll just slap it in here. Equals new. I guess I've done this up here. I may as well initialize it. And then I don't need to do it in the code here. Let's go again. Let's go, let's test. So if I right click, Breaks immediately. Something's not set. Oh, did we? We didn't even add an area to the ability. We'll give it set distance area. Distance of 1, height of 0. No difference. Must be on the same level. Okay, so as I move around, it should be updating. Nullable object must have a value. Does this not? Oh, and if that's null and that's null, if that's null and that's not null, that should be both cases covered for it being null. Oh, I didn't return. Okay. So markers return. So each of those cases you need to break out because you've already done the thing. Alright, so also I think previous hover position should become null. It can't be null? Oh, come on. I'll just have to make it nullable. Because it is possible that it's null. Um, so if the value is equal to that, return. If it contains the value, sweet, do that. So that's one problem. Let's just see. Maybe that's the whole problem. I also think I need to clear up this. Okay, so when we're over here, it's not updating, which is fine. But I think it should be clearing these little a-hole tiles, little red ones. So if the position is null and this has a value, we should be redrawing, which means set it to null and then draw markers. Draw markers should be clearing. And then, yeah, I guess the problem is it's not start position. This is not start position. Origin is equal to the position. Previous hold position. So if origin equals null, I guess it should be if it does not equal null, then we will draw some area position stuff, and we always draw the range. If it's not, if it's definitely not null, we'll do this. Okay, so it's oh, is it just because it's insanely slow? Is it slower than I thought it would be? Why is that still screaming? weirdly updates when I move away. What? So if I'm on something, it doesn't update. So this is just a logic problem. And then if it's, say I put it here and then I move, it will update to here. Weird. And it doesn't include itself for some reason. Get toggleable positions. And it removes itself, which is not what we want. That's okay for movement, but it's not okay for this. So that's fine to remove. Covering a lot of little problems that just little bugs as we go. Okay, there we go. It's targeting the area is targeting properly. I just need to sort out what's going on with the drawing and redrawing. So that's in select target. If the origin does not equal null, so why does it not update? Let's see. If the position you're on is null, it's not. The position is valid. If the position is null, it's not. It's valid. If the position value is equal to the previously hovered position, it shouldn't be. What's this saying? If the targetable position doesn't contain position value, right? Um, so this should be removing the the what's it called? The area. This should remove the area markers. Oh yeah, I've not actually done the code for for when it's a successful swap over. It should just be that, I'm pretty sure. Which is what a lot of this code is. Just do that and then return. Maybe don't need that. I think because I've moved a lot of the logic into draw markers, a lot of this is probably covered already. Doesn't seem to be slowing down too much. Let's 60 frames, 60 frames. Yep. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is this working? If I move outside of the range, oh, that'll be why I had that code. Equals null. Maybe we'll just set it to null, and that means it should not draw the area. Yeah, okay. So when we go outside, we don't see it. Okay. Um, the height, oh, the height's 0. So it should be fine on the same level as itself. Like that, those two should lie up together. So I don't know why it's not. Okay, that's cool. It does go up the one step as shown there. If I make it 2, it goes up the 2 step. Lovely. Still just shows 1 here for some reason. And let's back to pathfinding. It's always pathfinding. Minimum targetable height and maximum targetable height. Can target. Can we target? So this must be flicking. It's got to be. It's got to be the height. So it's the height of the current thing. That's what the problem will be. I'll be passing in a height. It will be taking the height from the starting origin tile and not the tile that we are currently looking at. So get position, origin. No, it should be getting the origin from what it is we're looking at. So that's annoying. That should be working. So why does it not? I guess we can just use pathfinding to scream some values out again. Scream out the Y-def and also the world position and maybe also the current world position. And we know what the Y-def is. Current world position. Okay, so let's go clear. We'll go there. So this is all we're looking at. 0, 0, 0. No height difference, but it still doesn't draw. I guess we should actually mark if this is the point where it doesn't work. Returning false. Okay, so it should just return 2. Uh, return 3. Oh, I guess it would be that blank one as well. Returning false. So say, okay, I guess we need to print everything. Um, Y diff, and then we're gonna have min height, max height, real world max height, and real world min height. Because I want to see what is going on here. So we go boom. Min height is minus 1.25 and the max height is 0.25. So the current position is minus 0.75. We're allowing it to go up or down by 0.5. So that is, okay, max height, the highest you can be is 0.25, the lowest you could be is minus 1.25. But that's a 0. Oh, hold on, that's 0. As in no difference, which is not into this. So the code is just wrong. And the code should be wrong elsewhere as well. So it's just escaped me. It's escaped the test I was doing. So I think this is wrong. Getting the Y difference. Oh no, this is wrong. This is wrong. It's if it's less than the current world position dot Y minus, no. Wait, hold on. What am I passing in here? What is minimum and what is maximum? Oh no, so it should be right. The minimum height is what it can go to. Hold on, hold on. So the minimum height is going to be, so because this is at 0.75, the Y diff, it's, so it is the Y diff. Calculating this is what's wrong. I don't need the difference, I just need to know the world positions Y. That's the problem. If the world position Y is less than the real world min height, or if the world position Y is greater than the max height. I don't think I need any of this other weird stuff. Let's just test it, see what happens. I think that's right though. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So if I make this 3, okay, so that is apparently 3. So I see 0.75 difference. Awesome. So it does reach above. And if I just make it 4, I should see it jump up to the top of that thing. There we go. Absolutely amazing. So this is what we wanted. Let's just make another ability. We'll call it first aid. So it's not going to have a set distance. It's not going to have a set area. It's going to be self range and self area, and it should only light up the spot that you're on. But in order to really see this, I'm going to undo this being less than 1 tile. Okay, let's see. You know what? I think I preferred it when it was just a little bit smaller. 0.9, 0.9, 0.9. I'll just copy that and then maybe I can copy the whole transform. Scale, there we go. Paste scale. And then paste scale. And now I'll just make the actual dudes a bit smaller. It needs to touch the floor again. 0.5. Bring the eyeballs a bit down. Yeah, it's just better for seeing actual tiles, I think, if there's a little gap in between. And then movement is still the same. You know, movement I can make a bit nicer as well by maybe just making one of the tiles slightly brighter than the rest as I hover over. So I might do that as well. But what I wanted to test was if this isn't fire, and this is actually first aid, what happens when I try to target something? Yep, it's only me, only myself. Okay, fantastic. So that's the only area I'm going to work on right now. I can add things as I go. As I try to come up with different ability types, maybe then I can add some more. Based off Final Fantasy, you have line attacks where it just attacks everything up the line. Of course, there can be all if you want to just target everyone, or if you want to target all your team, then there's all these different kinds of things we can do. And it's fairly easy to do so when you break it down into its own class. So yeah, that's it for area. I'll move on to the next video. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.